Hi, thank you, Vivica. Thanks for having me again. It's a
Oh,
pleasure to
I'm
be here.
I'm so excited. I'm sure we already have questions for you in the chat, so I'm really excited for us
Wow.
to get started. But before we do that, would you please
Yes.
share why you think this topic of mastering manifestation and unveiling the power of meditation is so important?
Yeah, because it really gives us power over our own lives. And a lot of times we think things are, happen to us or done to us. And really, although there are things that do happen that are beyond our control, there are many things that are within our control that we really don't realize. And you can have an abundance of wealth. You can have love in your life. You can have just about anything you want. You just really have to know how to acquire it, how to ask for it, how to express yourself to the universe to in order to get it. And it's a lot easier than most people think and very powerful.
I can't wait for you to get started. So I'm going to give the class to you. Here we go.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, let me thank everybody for being here today. I am Ray Catania, and today we'll be unlocking your manifestation potential. Um, I'll start with a little story about myself, and I'll explain that for those of you who aren't familiar with my story, I came from a home where money was always a problem. It was always an issue. And that issue turned into a lot of um, distress and anxiety for just about everyone in my household. So things were kind of turned upside down because of the struggle for money. And it's kind of always been a kind of a subject for a lot of people, and this is not just for money. And I do want to preface that I am going to use money today as an example, but these techniques can be used for, like I said, love, happiness, anything that it is that you're looking for, accomplish a specific goal. There's really there's no limit to what you can do with this. So that being said, we'll go back to the thought process that most of us have when we're growing up. We're taught by society. Um, Society will teach us, go to school, get a good job, save your money, retire, and that's it, right? Here's the problem with that. Who's giving us that advice and why? Because let us say it's the president of a large corporation, and I can assure you that he did not use that formula that he just gave to you to create that huge company. And it's highly likely that he used many of the principles that I'm going to share with you today, because visionaries have a method, and a lot of them don't even know that they have it or they're using it, but they have a method of tapping into the universe and the collective. They may not call it that, they may not know it that's what it is, but they have a method of tapping in and making things the way they want them to be. And sure, this can be used for good purposes and it can be used for bad. I do hope everyone will always use it for good purposes, but nonetheless, it is powerful and it can be used for, like I said, just about anything you want. So, I'm going to share with you some of my own personal stories as they pertain to the practice that I will share with you today. Okay. So, my journey started about 6 or 7 years ago. I had an NDE, and it was many years there later that I chose to accept that NDE as being an NDE because I lived my life as an atheist. It was a tumultuous environment in my home, a lot of trauma, drama, violence. I couldn't believe that there could be a God that will allow these things to go on with me just being a child. So I rejected all beliefs in anything. And that's the way I began my life and spent the majority of it. It was at the age of 20 I had my NDE, and you would think that that would turn me around right away. But no, it actually didn't. I suppressed it because when I told anybody, they told me I was crazy. And so I believed that I was crazy too. And I just kind of chalked it up and put it in a box and figured, well, the sun was the white light and I felt this way because of this and that and the other thing. But we're not here to talk about the NDE. But the thing that I want to point out is it took me over 40 years to really come to terms with the fact that I did have certain abilities and that I could develop them. And then when I did develop them, I taught them to others and they use them successfully. So I'm not special. I'm not chosen. I'm no different than you or anybody else. There's nothing special about me. I was just forced to learn these techniques because of my environment and my situation. There's nothing other to it than that. And I sought out mentors and I sought out proper guidance from schools. I read everything under the sun and I started to put pieces together. And what really clicked for me was I studied physics and metaphysics. And what I learned is that a lot of things that are spiritual have a scientific background to them. And when you can put them together, you can accept it easier as being reality. And I'm going to share this with you today too. We're going to talk about the law of attraction, but I'm going to tell you how it works. And not just from a spiritual aspect. I'm going to tell you legitimately how that works in the physical world. There's not too many rules to follow, but there is one that's really, really important. And if you break it, you'll actually get the opposite of what it is that you seek. Okay. So, one of the things that when people can't do, they've watched the law of attraction, they've read The Secret, it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for me. One of the biggest reasons is you're asking for it the wrong way. There is a way to ask. Okay. And the way to ask, first of all, is to not ask, it's to tell. Because if you ask, you leave room for ambiguity. There's no room for ambiguity. No one's going to say no to you. Every single religion says something to the effect of you're a part of God, God's a part of you. What does that mean? You're one with the universe. You want to call it God? Call it God. You want to call it the universe? Call it the universe. You want to call it the collective? Call it the collective. Whatever you want to call the higher creator of all things, you're a part of that. It's a part of you. You have a right to co-create the things that you want because you're a partner with God. You're not less than. You're a part of, partner. Jesus told us that. Every religion has a version of it. And I submit to you, it's the one thing they all got right. Because we are all connected to that source. Because we contribute to that source. We're putting into that source with our consciousness. We're putting in and we're getting out. So if we're a part of it, we don't have to ask pretty please because it's us. It's a part of us. It's also a part of you and everybody else. It's a part of all of us. So talk to your part and say, hey, I need you to do your part and get me what I need. So we're not asking. I said, I need 10,000 and I need it now. And I threw in, it was for my son. I don't know if it made a difference, but I was very specific. Exactly what I need. I didn't say I need a lot of money because there's your ambiguity again. What's a lot? Who knows? I need $10,000. I need it now. When do I need it? Now. The universe does not speak English. It does not speak Japanese or French or any other language you can possibly think of. It speaks vibration. So you have to adjust to it.